My boyfriend tried to throw out my entire rare plant collection in front of a botanist. My boyfriend Kevin hated my plants. Not the kind of hate where someone rolls their eyes and moves on, but the active kind where he'd sigh every time I watered them or brought home a new cutting. The plants are taking over, he'd say at least twice a week. You spent how much on dirt? He never learned a single plant's name in the 18 months I'd been collecting them, never asked why I kept detailed care logs in a notebook on the coffee table, never understood that this was the first thing in years that actually made me happy. Every windowsill in our apartment held propagation stations with glass jars showing root systems spreading through water. I had a monstera climbing the living room wall with perfect fenestrations, a dozen varieties of pothos, rare philodendrons I'd spent months tracking down. Kevin thought it was all a waste of money and space, like I'd filled our home with expensive garbage instead of living things I actually cared about. My roommate Jenny, who never once complained about my plants, had been seeing someone new and finally wanted us to meet. They walked in together, Jenny grinning. "This is Colette," she said. Colette had dark curly hair pulled back with a green scrunchie and dirt under her fingernails. Kevin said hi briefly, then walked out the front door, slamming it behind him. She shook my hand, then her eyes went wide. "Oh my god, is that a variegated monstera, Albo?" I felt my face get hot. "Yeah, I found a cutting last year." Her whole face lit up. "The variegation is stunning." We fell into easy conversation while Jenny ordered pizza. Colette understood overwatering versus root rot, knew why I kept the calatheas away from direct sun, and gasped at my rare philodendron propagation station. "I've been trying to get a philodendron melanochrysum for 2 years," she said, touching a leaf. "Yours is thriving." "When's the last time someone asked about your hobby like this?" Jenny asked. Colette laughed. "Sorry, I'm a botanist. I work at the university research greenhouse. This is my dream apartment." She picked up my care log and flipped through it. "Your documentation is better than most grad students I supervise. Have you considered selling cuttings? Some varieties go for serious money." I started to answer, but Colette glanced at her phone. "Sorry, can I use your bathroom?" Jenny pointed down the hall and Colette disappeared. The second she was gone, the front door banged open and Kevin walked in holding 2 industrial trash bags. "I'm done with this," he announced, heading for my rare aeroids. "What are you doing?" I asked, my stomach dropping. "Cleaning up," he said, reaching for the monstera elbow. "This place looks insane." I slapped his hand away. "Kevin, stop. You can't just throw away my plants." "Watch me," he said, pushing past me and grabbing the pot. I caught his arm, but he shook me off. "These things have taken over and I'm sick of pretending that's normal." "They're not hurting anything," I said, trying to keep my voice down. "You treat them like they're more important than our living space," he shot back, reaching for the philodendron. "Because you won't stop buying more. You spent $200 last month. You're just hoarding plants like some obsession." His hand closed around the anthurium and panic rose in my chest. "Kevin, please. That one took 8 months to propagate." "I don't care," he said. "You've got a problem and I'm solving it." He lifted the pot and I grabbed it too, both of us holding opposite sides. "Let go," he said. "No," I said, my voice shaking. "You're being ridiculous." Kevin laughed, the mean kind. "You document watering schedules like they're patients. You spend more time with these things than you do with me. Maybe that's because they don't criticize everything I care about." I snapped, pulling harder. He yanked it toward the trash bag and I stumbled forward, desperately trying to keep my grip. Colette stepped between us and caught Kevin's wrist. "Wait, stop. Do you know what you're about to throw away?" Kevin jerked back, looking at Colette like he'd forgotten she existed. "A bunch of weeds that have taken over my apartment." Colette's expression went ice cold. "This single plant," she said, pointing at the monstera albo still between my hands and Kevin's, "is worth between $800 and $1,200. That philodendron, $300 to $500. The anthurium you were grabbing, $400 minimum." Kevin's face went blank. "What? Your girlfriend has thousands of dollars worth of rare specimens here, and you were throwing them in the garbage." Kevin's eyes darted around the apartment. "Thousands?" His grip on the pot loosened. "You never told me they were worth anything." "You never asked," I said quietly, pulling the pot away. Colette stepped closer. "She's been maintaining professional documentation, propagating difficult species, creating an environment most research greenhouses would envy." Kevin set the trash bags down. "Babe, this is amazing," he said with fake enthusiasm. "Why didn't you tell me you were sitting on all this money?" "I've been trying to tell you about these plants for 18 months, I said. "You literally just called them weeds," Jenny cut in. Kevin tried to laugh. "I didn't mean it like that. I was just worried about the space." "You were throwing them away with trash bags," Colette said flatly. Kevin looked around nervously. "So now that you know they're valuable, suddenly they matter?" Colette asked. Kevin opened his mouth, closed it, tried again. "I was just trying to help clean up for our company." Colette gestured at herself. "I'm the company, and I'm a botanist. This is vandalism." I picked up one of the trash bags and held it out to Kevin. "The only thing that needs to go is you."